Good evening. I'd like to call the November 10th Committee of the Whole to order. Ms. Henry, are you with us? Maybe not. Ms. Henry, are you with us? Would you call the roll?
Yes, sir.
Would you call the roll, please?
Sure. Alderman Walters,
Here.
Alderman Hunt,
Here.
Alderman Azier, Alderman Green,
Excused for a moment, he'll be here later.
Alderman Myers,
Here.
Alderman Emerson,
Here.
Alderman Mary Jane Van Buskirk,
Here.
Alderman Bill Van Buskirk,
Here.
Alderman Mims,
Here.
Alderman Ward,
He should be joining us online anytime. We'll excuse him for now. We have a quorum. All right. I'll first ask for a motion for approval of the October 15th, 2020 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Van Buskirk, you have the motion. Ms. Mims, you have the second. Anybody have any questions or corrections? Seeing none, call the roll, please. Ms. Henry.
Alderman Mims,
Yes.
Alderman Emerson,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Hunt. Yes. Alderman Bill Van Buskirk,
Yes.
Alderman Walters,
Yes.
Alderman Myers,
Yes.
All right.
I vote yes.
You know, you say, I thought that was who was missing. All right, motion carries unanimously. Okay. Please note that Mr. Ward has joined us, I believe. He was. There he is. Hello, Mr. Ward. Okay. We'll then move on to the scheduled fees update. Point of contact is Russ Petry, our finance director. Russ, what do you have for us, sir?
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I have a recommended change to the fee schedule. There are 5 items on the fee schedule that we're recommending to change. If you look at page 3 of 5 on the fee schedule, the first one is the online credit card convenience fee. And what that is, it's the fee that we charge to offset the merchant services fees that we get from our merchant services providers. Currently, it's at $3 flat fee, and we're recommending it be changed to 2.5% of the transaction total.
Mr. Petry,
Yes.
did you say that's on page 3?
On page 3 of 5. Yes.
Right here.
It's under the finance section.
Okay, I see it now, I believe.
Okay.
No, actually, I don't.
It's the 3rd line under the
Right here,
finance section.
Greg. Right here.
Okay, I see it now, thank you.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Van Buskirk.
What do the credit card companies charge? Is it a flat fee or a percentage?
They charge a percentage, but it's based on which card is used. So the different cards charge different amounts.
Okay.
But we've done an analysis of the whole of all the charges that we get every year, and 2.5% will cover us.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
The next items that are being requested are if you look a little further down in the finance section, there's contract setup fee for residential and commercial. What that is if someone is needing a contract payment for payment, if they're behind on their payments, they can request a contract so that they can spread out their payments over a length of time. We currently charge $25 to set that up. We're recommending that that be removed. It really doesn't bring a lot of revenue to the city, roughly between $5,000 and $10,000 a year in the sewer department. And it's the feeling of staff that it's really penalizing people when they need help. So we're hoping that more people will take advantage of this if we don't charge a fee for it. The other two charges are on page 2 of 5. If you look under the rental dwelling inspection certificate fee, the second and third items in that section where it says inspection certificate fee, the item where it says units shall be inspected annually, we're recommending that sentence be removed from there because inspections occur at various times depending on re-tenanting of the units. So it really isn't necessary to have that line there.
Okay.
And those are the changes we're recommending.
Anybody on Zoom? Any of the aldermen on Zoom have any questions?
No.
Mr. Mayor.
Hang on just a minute. Mr. Ward, I can't tell for sure you were doing something. Were you signaling you needed to speak? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I got double muted there. I was trying to say no, thank you.
Okay, very good. Mr. Van Buskirk.
One more question. On page 1 of 5, that, the red type, is that just, I know that that came in an amendment to this, but was that previously there, or is that something being added?
I'm sorry, where are you referring to?
1 of 5,
Plumbing, mechanical, and
where it says
electrical.
valuation or fraction thereof under plumbing permit and mechanical permit, and electrical permit.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yes, that language is being changed to add as a fraction of because, I'm sorry I didn't notate that. It is because there has been some confusion when people fill out their applications and send in payments. They send in the wrong payments.
Okay, so that
because
is a change. Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
It's a wording change, so it's
Okay.
clearer.
Very good. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Walters?
Yes, I do have some questions. I went through this thing pretty thoroughly. The first on page 1 of 5, under city clerk, the candidate filing fee. I see we have the mayor at 50, the collector, marshal, municipal judge at 35, which we ought to scratch the marshal because he's no longer filing. Am I correct? Chief of police is appointed.
Are you looking at the newest one?
Yeah, it's on there too. It's the first item.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same.
Whoever wants to
And what
ask.
was your comment again, Mr. Walters?
Well, we've got the marshal down there as this filing fee at $35, candidate filing fee. Do we still elect our marshal? Then should we remove that? Okay,
Yep, that's not hard to do.
all right. Alderman 25. Also, we have, or it was on the books, I don't know if it still is, you can also file by petition, but it's not shown here, and there's no fee for that. That's in our code of ordinances.
Right, but this is fees and charges. Why would it be on here?
Well, because if you go to page 5 of 5, and you look under community special events, we've got 3 items there that are marked free.
Right,
Why are they on there?
so that people know that those are items that are community
Okay.
service items, but they're covered by,
That being said, if somebody files by petition, and it's in the ordinance, says how many signatures you must have within the political jurisdiction that you're running in, be signed to file by petition, that it's free, so it should go here as well, so that people know that
It's
it
not
is.
quite the same thing, but yeah, I mean, you got an ordinance that says that. So,
That's,
I mean, it's easy enough to put that in there, but
let's put it in there then,
it's
please.
like,
Well,
anybody?
the ordinance,
Go ahead, Ms. Mims.
the ordinance takes precedence, so why would you need to put that over here under the community special events?
It's not under community special events, it would be under city clerk.
But still, if it's in the ordinance, I mean, why do we need to put it in two different places?
In the code book and the code of ordinances? Because if anybody were to say, they come up to file and says, let's say a clerk at the city clerk or somebody says, okay, it's time to file, you want to file? Yes, okay, that'll be $25. Here's the schedule of fees, and it doesn't say anything about not having to pay a $25 fee to run for alderman if they're aware of it, but they're not aware of it because it's not on the list.
But they give you the information in the packet when you go to file for the positions that you're running for as an elected official.
I don't remember that.
I mean, it's just redundant to me. That's just me saying.
Let's be redundant for clarity's sake then.
Well, what I'm saying is why we're doing it in 2 or 3 different places.
Just two, if what you're saying is accurate. So I just believe it should be there so that the public's aware.
Ms. Henry, is it in the package when they file?
Yes.
It'll be in the packet when they file, it'll be in the public notice when it's done, and it's also in the code book.
Okay.
Okay?
Anything else, Mr. Walters?
Yes.
What else?
Let me turn the page here. I was interested on the appeal of administration decision, which is under community development. It's $150. Can somebody explain to me how that works? I really don't know. About next to the last, or it's 4 up from right above community development. Oh, that's continued, I'm sorry. Right above with the black line that says community development continued, 4 up, it says appeal of administration decision.
From temporary signs and banners.
It says temporary signs and banners above that, change, copy, new sign face, new sign permit. Above that says appeal of administration decision. The fee's $150, and I couldn't tell you on a bet what that means, appeal of administration decision.
Sometimes there are decisions that are made, and if you want to appeal what was done, like say, for instance, if you had it could be a nuisance or whatever it may be, if the decision was made, and if you want to appeal it, you can go from there as far as paying the fee.
If you appeal it, and they say that, okay, yeah, we see your point, we're going to appeal it, you have to pay $150 even if you're in the right?
That's the fee for appealing to go forward.
I got to tell you something. How many people have appealed it?
I don't have those amounts right now.
That is one that just sounds just terribly unfair to the public.
Before we make that decision, if that's what you're asking for us to review, all the community development fees.
Well, the appeal, we'll just look for the ones that have been appealed.
That says, you're asking me to look through the ones that's been appealed, or you're asking us to look through the fees or figure out why it's charged, or are we?
Well, I don't understand why it's charged. I still don't. That's part of it, and also I'm curious as to how many people have appealed and paid $150 just for, particularly if they win the appeal. That doesn't make sense.
We can do that.
Okay. The new sign permit, does this mean like if I open a business and I put up a new sign outside, is there a sign permit charge for one that goes on a building?
Yes.
If you paint something on a building, is there a sign permit? Is there?
I don't know about as far as paint. There's probably regulated signs regarding what you may have.
The reason why I ask this, I've been in business since I was out of high school, and it's been a long time. I'm at the end of the road now, but I've been in businesses at different locations. Never had to pay a sign permit fee, and that's in Kansas City, Missouri.
Well,
Is
more than
this-
likely, you probably had to pay a building fee, which may include your sign fee. But it could be the same. If you rehab a building or if you do a building which includes a sign, probably was a total building cost for your building permit. But if you do a separate sign for your building, then you have a sign fee.
I see. Okay, so this is standard in the governmental industry, I guess? Okay. The change copy for a new sign face is a $50 fee. So if somebody has a sign up and let's say they want to change the phone number on it, they got to pay $50 to do that?
I'm not sure that as far as the amount of work would change, but if you have to do a change, the $50 fee would be an administrative fee. For one, we have to have someone inspect it to make sure it's fine, it fits the code. You have to submit an application, which is included within your fee.
That just seems high. Temporary signs and banners, how long are they allowed to stay up?
I don't have the exact dates, but that's something we discussed in the past regarding our sign ordinance as far as temporary signs and banners.
Because there's a $50 fee to put up a temporary sign, I just wonder. I know the political signs are not included in that,
No, they're not.
but banners on buildings, I assume that they are.
Yes.
I'd like to know that.
You'd like to
If we
know
can
the
find
dur-
out, yeah.
Just want to make sure we understand, Alderman Walters, are you asking for the duration regarding the temporary signs?
The
as far as
duration,
the-
yes, I just wonder how much.
Because those $50 is probably not for a duration, it's probably for the inspection along with what it takes in order to review it.
Mr. Ward, I'll get with you in just a minute, sir.
If you want to go ahead to Mr. Ward, because I do have more questions.
Next time, if you got that many questions, I'd appreciate it, since you said you went through this so well, that
I
you
said I went
could
through it
have,
thoroughly,
like,
yes.
given everybody an email, so we could have had this done instead of go through it piece by piece. Mr. Ward, what do you got?
Thank you. And I guess I kind of felt like we got this kind of late in the game, and I'm not going to ask a bunch of questions tonight, but I think I probably will follow up with Mr. Hodges later to ask several questions. But I guess the two that really I'd like to hit tonight is regarding the solicitor's permits, and this is probably something Ms. Henry will have to address. How many of these do we get?
Can I clarify before we can move forward with that? Part of this was to provide those fees that we're proposing for change to the committee as a whole, and then move forward with those items. But as far as review of the entire schedule of fees and charges, that was not the intent. We would not have brought that before you without those recommended changes for each of those items. So,
Oh, I get that, but, you
so
know,
I'm just.
Once we get our eye on something, Mr. Hodges, it's.
Sure, and that's understandable. I just want to make sure we understand that that was not the intent behind bringing this forward, was to do that.
Anything else, Mr. Ward?
Well, I don't know if I ever heard the question from Ms. Henry, or the answer from Ms. Henry.
I think I've issued 2 this year. It all actually depends on the year. Depends on what businesses are out there. I think we've had a mooring company and you've had a disposal company.
Yeah.
Well, with that infrequency, it probably doesn't really matter, but I really don't like these door-to-door peddlers, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be opposed to raising that fee, but if it's only 2 a year, it's probably not worth the effort.
True. Very true.
And the only other question that I want to hit on tonight is when we were talking about new construction for single-family residence, we start to charge a premium when the house goes over $150,000. And I just wonder, when was the last time that threshold was established? Because quite frankly, I don't know that you could build a house for under $150,000. And quite frankly, I also think we'd want to do everything we could to encourage building of, $150,000+ homes in this town. Mr. Hodges?
I do not have all the building permits.
Well, I just didn't know if anybody knew when the last time that was raised, because 150,000 might have made sense in 1986, but I'm not sure it makes sense in 2020, so.
Yeah, I don't have that information, Alderman Ward. I don't know when the last
I will
time.
follow up with you
Yeah.
kind of went through some of the things that caught my eye.
Well-
Not for you to do anything with it, just to, you know,
Sure.
if it makes you think, maybe that's something we should look at, otherwise we'll just move on. Okay.
Mr. Van Buskirk.
Well, I just wanted to mention, Ms. Henry always informs us and sends us an email letting us know when she has issued a solicitor permit. So we get those, all of you should be getting them. It comes out to all of the aldermen, so.
And I know what I see, I just didn't know if there were more that perhaps I was missing, not because she didn't send them, but because I didn't see them.
And she's very faithful in doing that, which I appreciate the fact that she does that.
Okay, anybody else?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Walters.
Yes. Well, first of all, this says it's amended effective December 1st, 2020, so we have another meeting before we can approve this. Am I correct?
Yes, sir, it has to go to the Board of Aldermen meeting to be approved.
Okay, why don't we do this then, if it's all right with you? I can put my questions in writing to Mr. Hodges, if you would, or prefer to you, Mr. Petry, wherever.
Send them to Mr. Hodges, that'd be great.
And because there's some in here, like the state license, that I didn't like this when we put it in the first place for not-for-profit business licenses. That's a state function. We don't determine those things. I don't understand why we're paying another $25, particularly if somebody's a not-for-profit, because generally speaking, they're doing the public a lot of good. I could go on. Some of the questions have been answered in what you brought originally. I often wonder about some of the control, under the control of liquor control. I never have understood the logic of having a liquor license to be in business that's only good Monday through Saturday, but then if you want to be in business on Sunday, you have to have another one. Is there some sort of reason for that, to explain why it costs more to operate on Sunday than it does the other days of the week, as far as the licensing goes?
Alderman Walters, my guess is that the state, so there's the state level of liquor licenses and then there's the local level. The state charges a separate license for selling liquor on Sunday. And so I think cities have just followed what the state is doing. And that's probably why there's
I know of some liquor stores that don't open on Sunday specifically because of the license fee, which kind of makes it counterproductive if we're trying to build an economy that's based basically on sales tax and stuff like that, because they're not going to get any sales tax in if they're closed. And if that's keeping somebody from opening, we may be
Well, keep in
hurting
mind, though,
ourselves.
they still couldn't serve unless they had their state license.
Yes, I understand
Right.
that, but
So-
these are municipal rates.
You're correct, those are municipal rates, but what you were saying is that they were, maybe the fee, that our local rate was prohibiting them from operating on Sunday, and I'm just saying, they would still have to get both the state license and the local license, so.
Well, that was another I'd like to have clarified.
Why don't you put those, as you said, in an email to them, and they can get them answered for you, and then we can also all have the answer, because they can send it to us, because we've just got a couple of minutes till we got to start
I'll
our
send-
regular meeting.
I'll send you copies.
Thank you very much. Do I hear a motion for adjournment? Ms. Mary
Second.
Jane Van Buskirk, second by Mr. Walters. Ms. Henry?
Are you
Let's-
doing a roll call?
No,
or
never mind, I'm
affirmation?
sorry. Let's just go ahead and do an affirmation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against? All right, we are adjourned. You got about 5 minutes.
Thank you.